Good morning. It's August 9th today, and I thought this would be as good a time as any to record my garden, and I'll try to make it less than 20 minutes this time. We've had some hot days here, and it looks like it's graying up a little, and it may even rain, hopefully. So it's good lighting. So here is my garden, early June, and we are going to take a little tour here. See how things are growing and look at some of the changes that I've been making in my garden. I'm not going to do the front, just the back. This is, of course, my pathway through the arbor. My wisteria died this last year because I chopped into it. I continue to plant a lot of borage here that is a volunteer self-planting shrub that the bees love, you know. And this year my main goal is to create a pollinator friendly garden, and so I'm planting a lot of flowers that the bees and the butterflies and the hummingbirds like, and I'm reseeding the grass here, so that's why you see this here. And a lot of feverfew reseeds everywhere, of course. But you can see on the borage just how much these, I don't know if you can see the bees flying around here, but let me see if I can get any of the bees flying. They just love this stuff. So if you want bees in your garden, borage is the plant to have. There's a bee right there. And these are strawberries, of course, lining my pathway. I'm trying a new June-bearing strawberry this year called Hood, which is nice and big, and hopefully it will withstand this blight issue that I have in my garden every year now with some of that softening that occurs with strawberries. And here I'm doing a sunflower garden. This is a sunflower garden that's kind of layered. I'm going to have the shorter ones in the front and the longer ones in the back. I'll get these later after they actually grow up. My Nimrod grape in the background. This year I'm doing something different. I'm allowing my vegetable beds to go fallow. So I am just focusing mainly on medicinal plants and my pollinator plants. And I'm going to give my soil a rest and add some minerals and nutrients to it, and also plant a cover crop this year. These are just volunteers, so I'm going to let them grow up, harvest that, and then I'm going to empty out all the weeds again. I've had to clear this out of weeds a lot. Now this is calendula that self-grows here every year. Calendula is a medicinal herb, you know, that's used in a lot of creams for wound healing and such. Unfortunately, these are my chamomile, and they've already almost bloomed out, so I'm going to cut them down and then they'll bloom again. Make chamomile tea out of that. Blueberries are doing great again this year, and that's my new hedge of tulamine raspberries there that are the biggest, best, tastiest raspberries. I wouldn't even fuss with any other types of raspberry. I am growing a little bit of beans and cucumbers right here in this area, but other than that, not really growing vegetables. A couple zucchini back there maybe. Here this year I'm going to be doing a sunflower, what I call a sunflower pavilion. All these sunflowers will grow up, and I will have an entrance to this over there, and I'm going to have my little table set up in there and have little tea parties this summer. And I'm really happy with the way that the clematis is trailing really well up the fence here, and my astilba is doing wonderful. This year it's really happy, and I got this really neat little it's called ladies mantle, and it's so neat because these big leaves collect water, so you get to enjoy those dewdrops and water drops. And the apple trees are doing pretty good this year, and so are the pears. And those rose bushes over there, those are Dublin roses, and they're tall climbing roses, and they've exploded. I don't know, they just got so big. And then of course over here there are all my lilies over there, and I've got a lot of butterfly plants over there. This is the main butterfly plant area. And of course, my other area here every year where I have flowers only. Oh, I wanted to get this view here just to get in just a little bit of the yellow leopard's bane here. It just is the best flower to have in a garden because it's the earliest spring flower and it lasts all the way through June, and it will come out. Few more flowers will come out, but it's a wonderful flower to have in a garden. And then I'm finally bricking in the borders here. Got lots of foxglove. Just doing really well. The dahlias are coming up. We'll walk through my little pathway here. There's a little lantern to light the way, the path of life. I still have not it's a little late to put down grass seed, but better late than never. God, I wonder if I had to buy that lupin this year, because my lupins never ever get that big. And here is one area left where I still need to plant a few things. I've got pestamon, but I'm still thinking, what am I going to plant there? What am I going to plant there for butterfly flowers in that little open area? I've got liatris, I've got yarrow, I've got all kinds of goodies. Anyway, so we're walking through here. And of course I have Jupiter beard lining my pathways everywhere because it's such a trustworthy plant as well. And for some reason a couple of my dahlias did not come up this year. All three of them actually, so I had to go out and buy some more dahlias. And got tons of the lemon balm back there that's exploding, but I also wanted to get bee balm in here. This is bee balm right there straight ahead. And then I kind of transplanted the echinacea over here. I have a nice lavender in the back there. A little bit of mallow I'm planting there. I'll see how that looks. Asters, and of course your typical chives. And so I'm redoing this area here. My goal is to try to get in as many perennials as possible so I don't have to set in annuals and replant every year. And I still have my giant dahlias there and a couple smaller dahlias. Pear tree's doing so-so this year. Did great last year. There we go. Planted a interesting bush that Tom gave me here. We'll see how it's kind of a type of Fuji or something. It's called guacomi, something like that. But we'll see how that grows. And they're very tasty, little fruity things. And that's my Italian herb garden, of course. I'm so glad it's going to rain. I want it to rain so bad. It's just been way too hot. And of course, there's my rose garden, my plastic greenhouse. I still have to get some of those plants in that I've propagated. And of course, my other area of strawberries, many of which have that horrible blight condition. The Ozark Beauty, though, might be actually more resistant to that, so I may just plant only Ozark Beauty next year. Here we go on the pathway, and I'm going to try to lay a little bit more pathway this year. See, I'm actually to this point now, so that's pretty good. If I can get in 8 feet every year, I might just finish in the next few years. Woohoo! Blueberries are doing fantastic again this year, as I mentioned. Very happy with the blueberries. I do have that one basil over there. Okay, gotta have basil. And here I did more with marigolds this year, and of course I have calendula everywhere, but you know how it just spreads its seed everywhere. So you get a lot of that you have to weed up in the spring. And I'll be variety of things. Cosmos, a couple artichokes, columbine's all bloomed out now. There's not much columbine left. I put some yarrow in there, and black-eyed Susan. Ooh, it is warm. You can see just how magnificent these roses are. My gosh, Dublin rose. And then the best plum producer ever now is this satsuma, dwarf satsuma, and I just cannot believe how much it's actually producing this year. It's pretty awesome. Look at this. Look. Totally cool. Oh my. And then I finished this arbor and everything this year and put this all in to keep the chickens in the back. Now see here, I said I'm letting everything go fallow, but here I did put in some zucchini and crookneck. This entire area here I am letting go fallow, and I will do a cover crop later, but I also am letting this chard go to seed, so I'll get a lot of seed from this chard, as well as a lot of seed from the dinosaur kale over here and the other curly leaf kale. I don't like dinosaur kale as much as the curly leaf kale, but I couldn't resist. I had to spread a bunch of wildflower mix along the border there, so that's going to be really beautiful when it comes up. Oh, I'm doing better at pruning and cutting back stuff like the blackberries and keeping on top of the grapes. Those are my Concord grape. And here is 2 butterfly. These are the non-invasive butterfly bush variety I got over at Dance Plants in Cresswell. Really neat nursery over there. And here I'm going to be, here are a bunch of, I see I had asparagus here before, but now I'm planting all these butterfly and bee bushes here, plants. Chickweed and all kinds of stuff, you know, yarrow, chickweed, coral bell, you know, stuff like that. This is another project. I'm going to pave that area in with something. And here is where the milkweed is growing. One hedge. I'm going to plant another hedge somewhere. And the other plant there is a butterfly attracting plant. Giardia, I think is the name of this one. And it is really starting to take off now. I was afraid that the milkweed wouldn't come up, but it did. Hopefully it'll get really big. Hopefully I'll get some butterflies here this year. This area's got a lot of butterflies. Butterfly plants in it. Pestamon and just chickweed and, oh my gosh, you know, phlox. There's phlox. Just all kinds of different plants. We'll see what happens. I'm not quite sure what that was a self-starter there. That came up from last year, and I'm not quite sure what that is. I forgot already. These little bluebells, really pretty. Love this rose bush. This is my Queen Anne, I think. It's doing really well this year. Here's my little watering trough for the bugs and the bees and the pollinators. So, boy, I better get this thing wrapped up here because 20 minutes is really way too long. And of course, this is back where my chickens are. Oh, and this is my medicinal herb area too. See, I actually have, there's a little bit of primrose there. That's all valerian root that I planted right there. That's burdock there, and that's marshmallow there. See the tall one? Now that is a new tree, because since my other peach tree was a dud, I got another one here, and this one is called, it used to be called Frost, but now they're calling it Oregon Curl Free. And so we'll see how it does here. And then the Toka plum, the worst plum tree of all, that got the worst canker I've ever seen in my life. And I had to take it out, and now I put an Italian plum in here instead. So we'll see if it's more canker resistant. But I'll tell you, that Satsuma plum tree is apparently a lot more canker resistant. It doesn't have any canker on it, and boy. And I have lots of mason bees this year. I'll be taking those mason bee houses down here and put them in the shade in the next week or so. And I'm going to plant some more herbs, medicinal herbs here. I got to get them in there. I'm not quite sure which ones I'm going to plant there. I just finished this pathway here to the second gate. Real simple. I'm going to put some little flowers along the edges to make it more attractive. There we go. And then back to the Nash girls. Unfortunately, my favorite hen of all time just passed on. Last year she just keeled over for no reason. Nash girls. There we go. Yep. And there's a little whatchamacallit bush. Honeysuckle. Yeah. And I am going to be in the chicken coop tour this year too. So I'm getting ready for that. I need to clean some more things up. Those are my boysenberries. Yes. And the dogwood mom gave me. That's fallow this year too. And the chickens like to dust themselves in that. And then back here, another project that I'm visioning that may take me another year or so to get to is I actually do want to get in a 3-section compost and bins. I just don't know if I want to do brick or if I want to do wood. I still haven't really decided for sure. This grape bush is called Einset, and boy, is it going to produce a lot of grapes this year. Last year, nothing. This year, wow. So that'll be interesting. Seedless. Oh, and the cherries are doing pretty good this year. You know, not super. This cherry tree actually has canker, but it doesn't seem to stop it from producing cherries. And I did spray all my trees this year with dormant spray. Look, isn't that neat? Cherries! Try to get to some of those before the birds do. And I'm going to have Josh till this area this year and plant some seed and try to get it to go to more grass. Avoid all that mud in the winter time, you know. So there we go. So that's it for the yard. Hopefully this did not go over 20 minutes. At least my battery held out. I love my property. I love my little backyard farm. Love my chickens. That cherry tree is only 2 years old already. So huge. Hasn't produced anything yet. And my friend Ron, who passed away in March, you know, that's always what I called Ron's spot right there, and I'm going to get a little memorial plaque to put up there for him. A little mosaic memorial plaque of wings, and I'm going to call it Ron's spot. There we go. Over there, of course, I did put in actually a few little potatoes. I couldn't resist. I had those potatoes and they were just sprouting, and I'm like, oh, I can't throw these away, so I put some potatoes in there. There we go. Yes, siree. So that's, my dear friends, this is my garden. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Time to shut the camera down. I will do one last little morning walk back to my house and drink my second cup of coffee and then get the day going. There's nothing better than a walk in the garden with a cup of coffee to start your day and to create a positive outlook on life. There we go. Goodbye. Have a great day. Yes.